sorry. You don't know how to control yourself that you're throwing shoes? Hi guys, welcome to 2016-2017 Calling for Snow, okay? Yes. For this story time, we had to bring it all the way back then. So this is literally, I wore these hoops every day of my life. I would wear my makeup the same exact way, my hair the same exact way. This was just me back then. Like, I really used to, I used to do my makeup like 5 times a day. I'm not even joking. Like, I was really on that type of time, okay? And for some reason, to me, when I think of like, when people are like, oh, 2018, 2019, I'm like, I feel like that was the other day. And I'm like, no, that was quite a bit ago. Like, crazy how time flies. But this is one of those story times that I'm gonna have to give you guys the whole backstory to tell you the story. So go ahead and grab what you need to grab. I got my Red Bull and my Yeti. Get what you need to get, and because this was for the girls, because I'm not joking. If you have been with a narcissist, if you have been with a psycho ex-boyfriend, you know exactly the people I'm about to talk about. You know exactly the vibes, the characteristics, you know. So trigger warning, okay? Trigger warning. Let's get into it. Now, this is back in the day with Armando, okay? So this was after I had found out about the whole, what was that story time? It was like beefing with my boyfriend's girlfriend or something like that. Finding out about the side chick who wasn't really the side chick, like that whole thing, okay? So when I had found out about that girl, I forgot what we called her. I'm gonna call her Dove, okay? So this was when I had found out about Dove. Me and her had exchanged cliff notes of what happened between us or whatever. But pretty much Armando chose me. Put loser on my forehead, okay? Ew. So basically this is like the aftermath of that. Like, he chose me. I cringe when I think about who was I at this time. So I kind of knew, I knew what Dove had told me, but I didn't know to any extent. Like, I was still kind of blind to how deep their relationship went or whatever, because let Armando tell it, she was just a fling. She was just a thing, oh, I don't even know. Like, when I tell you the extent that Armando went, calling this girl all types of ugly and all this stuff, it was crazy. So to me, the way he presented it was like, oh yeah, it was just a one-time thing. She wanted to be my girlfriend so bad, but I wouldn't leave you for her and da-da-da-da. And then the evidence that she presented to me was like, oh, that was my boyfriend, that whole thing. But there was so many holes to the story, because I'm not about to sit here and be desperate and ask this girl okay, so where did y'all meet? What did y'all do? I got the information that she gave to me, and she was also lying about some stuff too. So there was a lot of gaps that were not filled in. I'm telling y'all this. Keep up, okay? So during this time, there was obviously a lot of trust issues, a lot of nonsense going on between him and I in our relationship. But you guys know, when y'all are dating a boy, it's like the friends or cousins or family that have always been around, when you even before you even started talking to the dude, that oh, these are his friends, this is his family, that kind of thing. So Armando's family had another family that they were very close to. So it was basically very much intertwined. So there is this lady. We are gonna call her Jordan. So Jordan was basically best friends with Armando's mom, but she was basically the auntie to all the people in our city, pretty much. So she knew everybody, and everybody like called her like their aunt, called her their mom. She basically took on like that whole second mom role to a lot of people. Like that was very much it. And her kids were very much in, you know, the mix, okay? So she was very much in the mix, okay? And so she was really close to Armando. So Armando always stayed at her house, always was over there. They like, I'm telling you, and what I'm saying is like, I feel like I'm not doing a good job explaining, because it's like, if you know, you know. Y'all know, okay? Like, y'all know the house that everybody goes to. Y'all know that lady. Like, y'all know the second mom type of woman. Like, y'all know what I'm saying, okay? And if you don't, consider yourself lucky. So she was basically, you know, like Armando's second mom. She was the cool mom. She was, you know, people could go to her house and drink. People go to her house and smoke and da-da-da-da. Like, that was, she just let everybody do whatever. Her house, like, if your parents were strict and, you know, you wanted a place to just chill, like, her house was it. That was it. So that was her. Now, mind you, I come from a completely different background. Like, my parents were super, super strict. We didn't have that. Like, we were not allowed to spend the night at people's houses. We didn't do all that. And, like, my mom, I feel like a lot of Hispanic moms are like this, but, like, my mom is like, you don't have no second mom. I'm your first and your last mom. You got a dad. You know what I mean? Like, there was no, like, oh, she's like my second mom type of deal. Like, no, especially in my household. So I don't really look at people in that kind of way where it's like, oh, she's my second mom. Oh, this is like my second dad. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm coming from like a privileged standpoint, but like, I got a mom and I got a dad. I don't need a second one, you know? And so Jordan would always kind of be like, when me and Armando started dating and she saw me and him being like pretty close, she like kind of gave the vibes off that she wanted to be like that with me, or like she would put in a lot of effort to try to get to know me a little bit more. And I'm just a very reserved person in general. So she was just like, you know, really putting on the vibes that like she wants to get to know me and blah, blah, blah. So she would always be like, you know, here's my number. If you ever want to go out to eat, if you ever want to talk, you know, I know Armando better than anybody. So da-da-da, like, cool. At this time, I was very naive, very just impressionable, and I just felt like because she was so close to Armando, like I had to be close to her. So because she was close to Armando, like I had to be close to her, and I like, because Armando's family was close, like I don't know what I was thinking, like. So I always had that in my head that like I should put the effort back too. Because I'm thinking she's doing it because she wants to get to know me, because she likes me and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, that's never the case. Like, people like that, is just, they want to be in your business and they want to be messy. So, whatever. I'm falling into that whole thing. You know, she's texting me, asking if I'm okay, this, that, and the third. You know, doing all this stuff. So, I'm like, okay, like, she likes me. She wants to be cool with me, you know? Dumb. So she was like, oh, if you ever have anything, like you ever have any problems or anything, just let me know, like we can go get something to eat or whatever. So one day I was like, let me see what this is about. So I texted her and I was like, hey, do you want to go out to eat one of these days? And she was like, sure, let's go, whatever. So we went out to a Chinese buffet with her and her daughter and stuff, and we were all just chilling, talking. And so she asked me, she was like, oh, what's wrong? Like, why did you ask to hang out? And I was like, I don't know. I just feel like Armando's kind of being weird. And like, I don't know. I just wanted to go out with somebody, because at that time, like, Armando was so the most about me going out with other people. And like, at that time, my best friend like threatened to shoot him, but that's another story. So it was just like a lot. I really just, and to be honest, like if I'm being 100% honest, like I was trying to get in with his group of people because I wanted to know what was going on. I was tired of the separation. I wanted to know what was going on. So while we were out to eat, you know, we're just chilling, we're talking, and she's basically kind of like dropping like subtle hints that she knows things and stuff like that. And lo and behold, the conversation brings up Dove. So I was just like trying to see if she had certain information that I didn't have. So as we're talking, she was like, yeah, I don't even understand why Armando would even talk to Dove. Like, we all said the same thing when she would come to his basketball games. Because mind you, Armando like completely separated his life. Like, I was his high school girlfriend. So when we went to high school events, then yeah, like I was his girlfriend. But he went to a completely different school. He went to a private school. So he always told me that like I couldn't go to his games because it was like away or they were really far. And like, mind you, I'm dumb. So I'm just like, okay, like whatever. So when Jordan is bringing up, she's like, yeah, when Dove would just come to the games, everybody would look at him like, what is he doing? Like, why is he with her? And I'm just like, wait, she would go to his games? And she was like, yeah, like she would try to sit next to us and we would like, no, like we didn't want to be with her. Like we didn't want to be around her because she was like ugly and she was ratchet. They were saying all kinds of stuff about this girl. So I'm thinking like, first of all, like y'all knew this whole time that he was cheating on me. Like she had like access to his games. She was going to his games and y'all saw that and no one felt the need to tell me, but y'all smiled in my face. And mind you, I'm just soaking all this stuff in because I still wanted more information. So I'm just like, what? So she's like, yeah. And so at the same time, I'm also making a mental note that guess who went to his games too? His mom. So if Jordan knows that this girl Dove is going to the games for Armando, surely his mom knows. So like, okay, so now I'm already thinking like, okay, so your mom knows that you cheat on me too. Like, she smiles in my face. She sees me at your house all the time. She sees us doing all this stuff. And yet, you know your son is cheating on me. And you're just okay with that. Okay. So I'm just taking mental notes of all of this. So mind you, I didn't even say this. Armando never wanted me to be alone with Jordan. He was always like, she's messy. Always tell me, like, I'm telling you, he would talk so crazy about this lady. And he was like, oh, she only knows me because that's my mom's best friend. She's messy. She's always in little kids' business. I don't want you around that. You don't need to be around her. Even though he was on to something, he was doing that because he knew that I would find out things that he didn't want me to know because of Jordan. Okay, so I'm like, okay, so this is all starting to make sense. This is all starting to make a lot of sense. So I'm just like, okay. And she was like, yeah, I thought you knew. Like, I thought once you found out about Dove, like, you knew everything about it. And I was like, why would I know? Why would I know that about Dove? Like, why? You know what I mean? And so she was also telling me about how he got her a dog. He got this girl a dog. So Jordan is telling me how he got this girl a dog. And it's so funny because she was like, she told me the name of the dog. She said the name was like Kai or something for the dog. And this is such a side note, but me and Armando got to arguing about that damn dog because I was like, you bought this girl a dog? Like, are you kidding me? And he's like, I didn't buy nobody a dog. I'm like, yes, you did. You bought her Kai. That dog, like, you really gonna name that dog Kai? Like, what the heck? Like, da-da-da-da. Do y'all know this boy? Do you know this boy had the nerve while we're arguing about this dog that he didn't buy her, right? He's like, the dog's name isn't Kai, it's Harley. I was like, so you did buy the dog. First of all, you did buy the dog. Second of all, you really like, we're arguing about this dog and you have the nerve to correct me on the name. That's how boys are so annoying. Like, out of everything that I've said, after all the things that we've argued about, you're really gonna correct me on the dog's name. I would have just let him, like, if I bought a dog for somebody, I would have just been like, yeah, that's the dog's name. Like, you know, I'm not gonna correct you on this stupid dog's name. And you're really gonna, the dog's not stupid, let me not say that. I love dogs. But you know what I'm saying? Like, what? So yeah, that was a side note, but he did correct me on the dog's name. I was like, why am I with this boy? Why? But that's not even it, y'all. So she's telling me all the tea from start to finish. All the holes that I had in my story, they were being fulfilled, okay? So I'm just like, wow, like that's crazy. So at the time, Armando worked at the mall. He worked at the Foot Locker, Finish Line, or some shoe store at the mall. To be honest, I don't remember. So he worked at the mall, and so she was like, oh, you know, but before we left, she was like, don't tell Armando that I told you any of this. Like, don't tell him I said any of this. And I was just like, okay, like, whatever. On the inside, I'm infuriated. Like, my temperature was probably at like 2,000. Like, I was trying to keep it calm, trying to keep it cool, because at the same time, like, I just looked stupid. Like, I just looked so dumb, and I felt dumb, and I was just so angry. But she was like, oh, we should go visit. That's what I'm saying. This lady was so messy. Like, I don't even know why I even entertained this, but she was so messy. And she was like, oh, we should go to the mall. I think Armando's working. So I was like, okay, let's go to the mall. And so we go to the shoe store. To be honest, I cannot remember. I think it was Finish Line, maybe Foot Locker, Champs. I don't know. Don't remember. So we walk into the store, and guess who just so happens to be there? Armando's mom and sister. So Armando's mom was buying his sister some shoes. So obviously Armando was helping his mom, and his sister, you know, blah, blah, blah. They're just trying on shoes. Y'all, the way that I'm flashing back to this memory is giving me PTSD. I'm getting hot. So Armando's helping his mom and sister, and then, you know, me, Jordan, and Jordan's daughter come. And mind you, Jordan's daughter is like maybe like 2 years younger than me. So we're just walking in or whatever, and he's like, oh, hey, how are you? And so we're by his mom, and now I'm looking at his mom funny because I'm like, you're so fake. You are so fake.
You the fakest bitch in America. You're not a real person.
For real. So I'm just looking at his mom, and I'm just like, hi, whatever. And, you know, something about me, I just can't hold things in. It's just not me, okay? It's just not my character, okay? So me and Armando were looking at these shoes, because I remember I wanted these pink Huaraches. No, they weren't the Huaraches. There were some pink Nike shoes. I'm not a sneakerhead. So we were looking at these pink Nike shoes, and he had it in his hand. And I just looked at him. He's like, why are you hanging out with Jordan? And I was like, because we wanted to go get something to eat. He's like, I told you I don't want you hanging out with her. And I was like, why? You're afraid that she's going to tell me that Dove used to go to your games? And in that moment, like, I just felt like I just wanted to get that off my chest. Like, yeah, I know what you did. I know what you did. Tell me why in the middle of the store that he works at, he takes the shoe and throws it at me. It's not funny. It is not funny. He takes this shoe and he throws it at me. Not like at me, but like he throws it in my direction, you know? And so he was like, that's exactly why I didn't want y'all hanging out. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So like he flipped a switch. He was like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly why I didn't want y'all hanging out together. And so he goes to Jordan and he was like, why did you tell her that Dove used to come to my games? You're so messy. That's why I don't like you. That's why I can't deal with y'all. Da, 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 da. And so he's causing a scene. Mind you, you're not going to throw a shoe at me. I don't know. You're not going to sit here and throw a shoe at me. So I took the shoe and I threw it back at him. Well, I took a shoe because you know how it is at the stores when the shoes are on the wall. So he throws it at me and he was like, you know, so I'm gonna play it out for y'all. So he takes the shoe and he was like, that's why I don't want you hanging out with her. And I was like, oh, no, sir. So I take whatever shoe that was next. And I was like, don't throw shoes at me. That's when he walked away and he goes up to Jordan. And he was like, why would you tell her that? Da-da-da-da, whatever, you know, that you're so messy, that whole interaction. And his mom was like, whoa, 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 calm down. Whatever. So she was like, whoa, 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 calm down. Like, what is going on? What is going on? So then Jordan turns to me and she was like, I told you, don't tell him what I told you. Like, that's why, like, now he's mad at me. As if she's like my age. Mind you, this is a grown woman. This is like someone who's old enough to be my mom. She's everybody's second mom, everybody's auntie. You know what I'm saying? You have a daughter that's older than me. And she was like, why did you tell him that? I told you not to tell him, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm just like, he's really gonna go crazy right now. So he's like yelling at us and he's just like, you know what, get out the store, like get out of here, da, 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 da. And so like, I got mad because I'm just like, first of all, don't get mad. Don't throw a shoe at me. Number one. Number two, don't get mad because you're caught up. Like, yeah, whatever. Jordan's messy and stuff, which that's one other thing. But at the same time, like, you can't get mad because somebody's giving me information that you did. Like, that's your fault. That's your problem. So I'm getting mad. He's getting mad. His mom is just like, oh, remember that you're at your job. Why would you bring this here? And that's exactly what I'm talking. Like, his mom would always make it seem like I was the problem. Like, I'm sorry. You don't know how to control yourself that you're throwing shoes. That's where we're at right now. And so I'm the messy one. I'm the one that's like put in this bad situation. So whatever. I was so mad and I was just like put on the spot. Because number one, I did not expect him to just like blow up like that. I really didn't. So he's like yelling or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. So I just started knocking down shoes. I walked out of the store, but I was knocking down shoes. Because I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, what, you know, you got anger issues, I got anger issues too. You're not gonna throw a shoe at me, so I just threw all the shoes onto the floor. Like, that's what I did as I walked out. So I ended up walking out of the store. Mind you, we're in a mall, so I just went to like Old Navy or something. I walked out of that store and I was just so over it. I was done. And so Jordan walked out with me and she was just like, I know you're upset. Like, I know there's a lot to handle. It was just so flip-floppy with her, dude. Like, she was like, I know this is a lot for you to handle, but you got to understand that, like, you know, things that we talk about in our private conversations, like, you can't bring up to him because, you know, then he's not going to want to talk to me and then he's not going to want to be around me. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, are you the one dating him? What? And so she just said all that, like, while we were walking around, and she was just like, you know, I think you should just cool off and everything, and we could just talk about it later. You know what I mean? Mind you, me and her rode together to the mall. I don't know why I did that, but we did. So we went back to the shoe store, and he finished up with his mom, and his mom was like, you know, we're just gonna have to go. Like, I don't understand what's going on. And so Jordan was like talking to his mom, talking about, oh, you know, they're young, they don't understand life yet, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I was in a twilight zone. I was in such a twilight zone because I'm like, this dude really like cheated on me. You knew about it. She was at y'all's games. She was like there. And then when I confront you about it, you're going to throw a shoe at me in front of your mom, in front of your friend, best friend. I don't even know what to categorize this lady as, but, and in front of the other employees, because mind you, fast forward on, this dude that like, we're really cool now, he was like, yeah, I used to work with Armando when y'all was like throwing the shoes at each other. Do you know how embarrassing that is, that like people knew about us because we sat there and threw shoes at each other at the shoe store? What? So then after that whole thing happened, when I dropped off Jordan and her daughter and everything, she was basically telling me like, you know, oh, like, just take this as a learning lesson, you know, because I know. And I'm telling you, she used to be all up in my business, but then like always took his side, because fast forward, her son tried talking to me, girl. And her son and Armando were supposed to be brothers. Remember, like, they grew up together. They were this, that, and the third. Her son tried to talk to me, and it just didn't end up like, it wasn't really the vibes. Like, it wasn't it. But like, I had no problem with her son, but I just think that's funny, you know? Okay. So yeah, I don't really even know what this story was even about. So yeah, it was just a time that, like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, this is why I don't get involved with people's families. Like, now I don't have to deal with this because my boyfriend don't got no best friends. He doesn't have none of that, okay? He has his family and that's it, okay? So, and I'm really cool with his family. I love his family to death. But like, before like I got with my boyfriend now, I swore, I was like, I will never meet anybody's family. I don't want to meet your mom. I don't want to meet your dad. I don't care about your family. They're not my family. And I hope you guys understand that. I love, you know, my boyfriend's family down, but at the end of the day, like, his family is not my family. So they're gonna vouch for him. And it's the same thing with Armando. Like, this man could literally do anything, and guess what? His mom is gonna be on his side. Guess what? As soon as me and Armando broke up and I had to get the restraining order on him, all the people that were like my friends too, and you know, Jordan wanted to be like my second mom, right? I got dropped by everybody, and everybody would just talk bad about me. They shunned me. It was just like a whole mess, and it's so crazy because on social media you would swear that they are just like this. They all talk bad about each other. That I know things that I shouldn't know about that family on both ends. Like, all talk bad about each other, but you know, every day, every year on their birthday, it's like, oh my god, my rock, like da 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 da, like lies. So I don't even know what the point of this video was. It was just to share the time that yeah, I found out about Armando's messy ways through his messy auntie mom, second best friend. I don't even want to know what to call her. And then he threw a shoe at me and I threw it back. And then I knocked all the shoes off and we caused a scene at Finish Line, Foot Locker. I don't remember. But yeah, that was it, guys. So stupid. Let me know if y'all have any one of these stories. Please let me feel like I'm not alone, okay? I can't be the only one. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.